Hey, it's David here from Freedom Founders out here in beautiful Colorado, my home state actually. This is Breckenridge. We're at about 11,000 feet here, and it's a beautiful time of the year. So what am I doing here? On vacation? Well, sort of. Actually stress testing the business combined with the vacation. Stress testing your business. What does that mean? You know, most of us grew up getting a strong educational foundation. We were taught to go to school to get good grades and climb the ladder and go in and get technical skills of some kind or professional skills, licenses, degrees of different nature so that we could earn a good living, right? So far, so good. And we can do that. Most people can do that. You can take your trade, your expertise, your license, your skill, your professional practice, ability to trade time for dollars, transactional income, and make a darn better than average living. And that's great. That's awesome. But is that true freedom? It's not. Because if your business, if your income, your active income, your earned income is dependent upon, primarily on you or me, then that's more of a job. And a job in itself doesn't provide real freedom. Now, what's real freedom? Well, for me, it's doing what I want to do, when I want to do it, with whom I want to do it, and where I want to do it. Now, you can't start out life that way. There is a sacrifice period for sure. But the sooner we can get our mindset to the fact that the longer we put the burden of the income on our back, our skill set, our trading time for dollars, the longer we do that, the longer we have to go before we have freedom. And most people, unfortunately, look at their freedom day when they actually, quote, retire. Sell the business, sell the practice, retire out from the career in their 60s. It's late 60s now. It's going to the 70s, and that's crazy because you give up so many opportunities when you're young and you're healthy and you can do the things you want to do, and you get to that age and then things happen. So to me, that's not a good construct. So stress testing the business. So here's what I did. Now, I did this with my dental practice as well. I was forced to do it with my dental practice because of my daughter. Her health situation forced me out of my practice. Now, I wasn't the only provider. I had multiple hygienists. I had, at different times during my practice years, I always had an associate with me. So all of the production was not on me. Now, I was probably the senior producer, no question about it, but I had other producers. So I could be out of the practice, but not for long periods of time, because if I wasn't, then the income would go down and there'd be no income left over for me, no profit, right? Or very little profit. So you have to figure out how you want to live your life, how you want your business to be run. And if you love doing the technical work, then that's awesome, great. But how are you going to create real freedom if all the technical work that you do is what provides your active income? So I learned through my practice evolution how to become a real owner and do very little down to none of the active income producing, that is doing the clinical work, from very little down to none. Now again, it was forced on me a little bit because of my daughter's situation, but nonetheless, I proved that it could be done. Fast forward about 15 years, I am now the CEO and facilitator of Freedom Founders, a mastermind community dedicated toward helping other professionals reach their freedom point way, way sooner in life than they would if they followed the normal track. So Freedom Founders, again, started by me. I'm the CEO, I'm the founder. I built all the constructs, the frameworks, but as I evolved that business, I decided I didn't want to make it like dentistry where I had to be the one there every day, showing up with scheduled patients, or in this case, scheduled clients. I wanted to build something that was different. Initially, it started out with me doing most of everything, and then I started to hire little by little. I hired the right people as we've elevated, and now we're at a point where I've got a team with ownership, culture, and the most important thing for me to have in place is leadership. Not necessarily my technical skills, which are still important, but leadership and designing a business by intention, not by default. And so doing that, we as a team decided we want to stress test the business. So that is get me out of the business completely for chunks of time. So this chunk of time was 4 weeks, totally out of the business, not doing anything with the team, not on any level 10. That's a regular pulse meeting that we have. I'm not on any of those calls, no departmental calls, not doing anything for the business. I'm checked out, if you will. Now, I do keep up with my key executive assistant. I've got to change hands here, get a little bit tired. My key executive assistant, we do a brief, one brief, 15 minutes or less, once a week, and then 2 briefs by email, which takes me about 7 minutes to respond to. That's it. That's it. Now, could you run a business, or could you operate and own a business that ran like that? See, that's the key. Now, when you stress test your business, you have to first have the discussion with your team. here's the goal, here's where we want to go, and don't try to do a big stretch of time right away. Maybe you start out with just a couple days during a week. That's where you start. And then you expand that maybe to a week and then to 2 weeks. And you may have to bring in other people to do the actual technical work, which can be a big step when you've been used to doing it all yourself. But think about it. If you really want freedom in your life, that's the direction to go. You've got to get past the fear factor of, gee, I've got to control everything. That's the way we were taught. That's the way we were educated when we were growing up in life. It's all on you. You've got to do all the work. You've got to pass all the tests, make the grades. But in real life's about collaboration. They don't teach that in school. You got to learn that once you get out of school. And it's one of the most important things you can do. So stress test your business, but start with the vision to your team. Communicate. Here's the goal. Here's what I want the outcome to be. Don't worry if you don't hit it perfectly. Don't worry if there's a few snags. You've just got to step out and get it going. And before long, as you build, you get the team on board, and you have the right people in the right seats, you can have a real business that isn't primarily dependent upon you. To me, that's real freedom. So my focus point for you, action item, is start stress testing your own business, your own practice, whatever it is. Start small and build over time. Stress test over bigger periods of time till you get to the point where you're going, wow, this is actually an awesome business. I love this. I've got freedom. I've got people that own their seats. I don't have to be there every day, every week for this business to run. To me, that's real freedom. So focus on your freedom, and I'll see you next time. Take care.